Hello, 2360 students. I hope everyone is having a great holiday weekend. I just wanted to jump on here and walk you through our first module as well as give you a few reminders. So, in our Getting Started module, you should have already read through that. You should have completed the first week attending activities. If not, you should have been contacted by your home school or home institution. So there are two big components that make up this course. And if you've read through the Getting Started module, you are aware of that. So the first one being the case studies. The main component of our modules are made up of a case study. So you're going to be choosing a case study child. I will be sending a reminder about that next week to or this week to you, where you will look through, and I want you to do that now, but I'll send an email reminding you where you will pick your case study child. Now, the case study project, you will have to do many different things with this child. So each one is a case study. And once you figure out which one you want to pick, you will use that same student the entire project. And there are different things that you will be doing. We won't start a case study work until module 3. That's why I want you to go ahead and review the case studies and see which child you would like to work with for the entire term. Okay. And I will send an email reminder out about that where you will um, be able to look at that. Also, I want you to look through the case study project module, and I also have a rubric that breaks down the criteria for all of the case study projects that you will be working on this semester. Another thing I want to remind you about to look at is going to be the inclusive practices fieldwork. Now, this is where you will be going into the classroom. This is part of our course. You must complete field work if you would like to pass this course. So students who do not complete field work will not pass this course. It is a requirement as far as NAEYC accreditation. This is something we require of our students. I do want to warn you, if you've not looked at this assignment, go ahead and start reading over it. There's a lot of components. You're not just going to go into the classroom and observe. There's things that you're going to have to be doing. There is different parts of this assignment. So you're going to read through it. I will be doing a video this week coming up that breaks it down. I will be separating it into parts, right? So if you look at the second page of this assignment, you will see it says assignment snapshot and it shows 5 parts. What I thought would be the best way to get this out is that each week I will upload um, part 1 preparation summary, what you need to do. Then I'll do a separate video observation and teacher interview. So part of your observation is you will observe, but you also have to interview your teacher. Then you're going to analyze and summarize inclusive practices. Then you're going to do reflection, and then you're going to do advocacy letter. So you're not just going to be in there for 12 hours only doing this, right? And just watching. And there's different pieces, and I break down each part and what you have to do and the criteria. Um, there is also um, there's also a rubric that's on here. So as I said, I will be doing a video, but your job for right now is to look through this week and look through your fieldwork assignments. So what will you be doing aside from being in the classroom? So while you're in the classroom, what is your job going to look like for this project? So make sure you look at that. So now I'm going to jump into your coursework. Now, as I mentioned in the Getting Started module, each module that we do is 2 weeks long, right? So each module will last for 2 weeks. And the way I have it broken down is the same for each module. So the first one we're going to start with is Early Childhood Special Education Inclusion Policies and Practices. You will have an overview, you will have learning objectives that you will have to learn, like master. Again, these are your course outcomes and objectives for this module. You will have reading and resources. So what will you need to read in terms of your textbook or any articles or any supplemental resources I give you. And also any key terms or vocabulary that is necessary for you to learn for this module. And then next we have your lessons. Each module will have 2 lessons. This is why I give you 2 weeks for each module. So, the first lesson is lesson 2.1. This is all going to be about defining what does inclusion mean? What are those benefits of inclusion? What are some challenges? What are the types of programs we're talking about and some best practices? And then in the second lesson, we're going to talk about um, being an advocate for early childhood, especially special education and exceptional children. We're going to talk about those landmark legislation like IDEA, Part B, Part C. What were some case laws that influence special education? What are some non discriminatory laws that you need to be aware of? And specifically, aside from IDA, is working with teams, and what kind of teams would you see in an inclusive early childhood program? So that's going to make up your two lessons for Module 2. Underneath your lessons, you're always going to have a box that says activities and assessments. This is where you're going to be graded on something. So the first one you're going to see is you will see Module 2 discussion. Now, you will not always have a discussion. Sometimes you will have a discussion. Other times you may have to submit something to the assignment Dropbox. You will always have some kind of assignment and a quiz. So this week you're going to be taking a Module 2 quiz. Now you'll see it's open for 2 weeks. I do not encourage you on the second day of Module 2 opening, you take the quiz. Now, one thing that I will note is that you are allowed to take the quiz as many times as you like during that quiz window. The highest attempt quiz is what will be recorded when that time is up and the quiz closes. And then you have a discussion activity. So that's what your assignment's going to be this week. So what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at the top 10 questions about inclusion. So there's a doctor, his name is Dr. Patrick Schwartz, and he's an engaging professor, right? He's a motivational speaker, he's an author. He really speaks about inclusive education, right? And also leadership. So, what he does is he's created these videos about questions that educators have when it comes to inclusion. Even parents have these questions. And each question is a video. And what you're going to do is everyone is going to watch question number one. Okay, what makes a school inclusive? Then you're going to select any video you would like from questions 2 through 9. So, you're going to pick another video which is provided by Dr. Swartz. And then lastly, you're going to watch number 10. Okay, so you're only going to watch 3 videos. You're going to watch number 1, number 10, and then you get to choose what other video you want from 2 through 9. And what you're going to do is you're going to post and reflect on these questions I provided you, right? So when you're clicking on the video, what makes a school inclusive, I want you to actually answer that question in your post. Say you chose video number 4. How does inclusive education promote successful learning? Well, hopefully you got the answer by watching the video. You will post on that. And then lastly, what are the research benefits? I want you to talk about that in your post. I did include a snippet here that talks about some guided things that might help you. Remember, I'm not giving you a word count because I want you to look at giving me a summary of your reactions and your thoughts about these videos and making some kind of connections to your own experiences of working with children in inclusive classrooms in answering the questions on the videos that you watch. Okay, and remember, you need to reply to at least 2 other candidates as well. Well, um, one other classmate's post and respond to them. So that will be your assignment. Remember, you have 2 weeks to do this. All of the assignments of when they close and open, as well as the quiz, is listed there for you. Just make sure that you always, if you're reaching out, if you have questions or anything of that sort. One other thing that I wanted to mention underneath inclusive practices fieldwork, after you read the assignment, underneath you're going to see a Word document that says guidelines and checklist. Please make sure you save this, print this out. This is going to allow you to make sure that you are doing everything you're ready to be placed. So when you, and again, I'm going to do a separate video about this, but you are responsible for your own placement. At Watcher State Community College, which is my home institution, we have a service learning coordinator. But where this is Tennessee campus, you are responsible for your own field placement, which means that you need to complete all this on the checklist before you have permission by me to be placed. So you have to complete a TBI background check at your own expense. You have to purchase liability insurance through your school or through some kind of STA or something of that sort, or through NAUYC membership. Complete the placement referral confirmation form, and then work with your institution to make sure that you are in compliance, specifically your early childhood coordinator. So I did put a placement steps in here. Remember, you have to complete the 12 hours, but um, that's just part of the fieldwork hours. Again, you have these other pieces in the assignment, right? So a reminder, all of those have to be completed before you can be placed. Always reach out if you have questions. I know it's a lot. That's why I wanted you to start looking at it. And then I will make a video which will be coming next week or this coming week. And that will help guide you a little bit further in your fieldwork assignment. All right, until next time, take care.